Welcome to the New Mexico Activities Association Baseball and Softball Seeding and Selection Show. If you're looking for the brackets and first round matchups for the state tournament, you are in the right place. Shout out to a few teams watching the show to find out their seeding and matchup. I know the St. Pius baseball team is dialed in. Santa Teresa, yeah, I see you out there getting together at one of your players' houses. Why wasn't I invited? Probably because someone has to be here hosting the show, right? Well, thanks for watching. Before we announce the brackets, let me explain how the seeding and selection process works. Contrary to what people might think, we don't just sit around a room and randomly decide who will be number one, number two, etc. We don't have any bias for or against any school. In fact, all of the member schools voted on this seeding process. We go through the teams and look at the following factors: their finish in the regular season play, Max Prep's rankings, overall record, wins against district champs, regardless of class, head-to-head matchups, and member school input that was submitted by the head coach of each team. Now, that coach's input can sway a team one way or the other. There is no opinionated input from the NMAA. Let me repeat that. No opinionated input from the NMAA is given. It's all data-driven. It's really just one big math problem or puzzle to see how one team fits ahead or behind the other. So, do we have all that? Everyone understand? We get that? Okay, good. Let's get to it. And ladies first, let's start with softball in Class 3A. Drum roll, please. Yeah, listen, can we invest in a drum roll sometime before next season? Okay, we'll get on that. Anyway, the show must go on. And number one in Class 3A is Robertson, led by head coach Robbie Armijo. They are 17-8 on the year and riding a 9-game win streak. Their last loss was an 8-inning game in early April against Santa Fe Indian School. The number one Cardinals will take on East Mountain in the first round. The winner will face either Tucumcari or Hatch Valley. Laguna Acoma is the 5 seed going up against Navajo Prep. West Las Vegas comes in as a 4 seed. They get Raton, who they beat 3 times in their last 6 games of the year. Tularosa, you are the 3 seed against Wingate. The winner moves on to face either Santa Fe Indian School or Tohatchee. Dexter is the 7 going up against St. Michael's. And Cobre is the 2 seed in this bracket against Hot Springs. On to Class 4A softball. There was really a logjam at the top. Artesia is the defending state champ, and they head into this year's bracket with the number 1 seed. Artesia is 21-4 on the year. They are coming off a split of Lovington on Friday. In fact, 2 of their 4 losses are to the Wildcats. Artesia's other 2 defeats came at the hands of Carlsbad and Oñate. Now, this year's team can hit the long ball. Artesia has 41 home runs as a group. Their leading pitcher is Riley Crandall with over 160 strikeouts, 9 shutouts, and 1 perfect game. Here's more on the top team in Class 4A.
In 2018, the Artesia Bulldogs ended the season as state champs. 2019 is a new year with a new classification and a new roster.
You know, it's a lot different than what we've had in the past. This is kind of like a first-year group for us. Granted, we have 7 that came back from last year's squad, but we have 7 to 8 new girls on varsity.
Last year, we had a lot of natural talent, but we still worked very hard. This year, we're having to work a lot harder, and it's getting there.
The lineup is loaded with juniors looking to make a name for themselves in Class 4A.
This group, we're scrappier than in the past. The last 3 years, it was more finesse than anything. I think that's the word that we like to use. We're scrappier with this group, but you know, they find a way to fight and get the job done, and it's exciting.
4th-year head coach Sandra Polito doesn't rely on last year's laurels to push this team.
We try not to think about, you know, what we did last year. Yes, it's great, and we have that accolade, you know, on our resume, but I mean, we have to take it one game, one inning, everything, you know, one thing at a time. I mean, yeah, we have a target on our backs, but at the same time, we have to focus on what we do and what we do well in order to get back there.
Artesia is now in the same classification as 8-time defending state champ Silver, making the competition for the blue trophy very interesting.
Let's take a look at the bracket. Artesia will face Espanola Valley in the opening round. Los Lunas is the 2 seed. They dominated their district. They will take on Kirtland Central. Aztec is the 3. The Tigers won it all in 2017. They face Los Alamos. 4 is Silver. More on them in just a moment. They get Pojoaque. Lovington comes in as the 5 against Miyamura. Bernalillo has a solid bunch with a 20-3 record. Bernalillo put up big numbers in district play. 143 runs against district opponents. In fact, Bernalillo hasn't given up more than 2 runs since late March. They're the 6 going up against Berlin. 7 is Gallup. Portales is 10. The 8-9 matchup is Valencia and Valley. Now, back to Silver. One of the players to watch this postseason is senior pitcher Cameron Trujillo. She racked up more than 200 strikeouts this year. Her ERA is just over 1, and she had 5 no-nos this year. Trujillo and Silver will take on Powake in the opening round. The last softball bracket to announce is Class 5A. Now, if you already have the NMAA 24/7 app, you already know the number 1 seed. We announced it before the show. You really should download the app. It's a great way to keep up on all the scores and highlights, but for those who don't have the app yet, here's your number 1. Number 1 in Class 5A goes to Rio Rancho. The Rams won it all in 2014 and 2015, but haven't been back to the championship game since. This year, they come into the tournament with a 23-3 record. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games to Cibola and Cleveland, but early this year, the Rams rattle off 20 straight wins at one point. The Rams will meet Mayfield in the opening round. Here's a look at the seeds and matchups. El Dorado and Piedra Vista is the 8-9 matchup. Centennial is a 5 going up against Farmington. Oñate is the 4. They will host Hobbs. Volcano Vista was last year's state runner-up. They'll meet Albuquerque High. Cibola is the 6 going up against defending state champ Las Cruces. Manzano put together a solid season this year, and they'll take on Cleveland. Carlsbad is the 2 seed in this bracket going up against Alamogordo. Now to baseball. We will start with Class 2A, but before we get to the bracket, I want to tell you about a couple slight changes in the times of the semifinal games. Those 2A semifinal games will now take place at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. at Rio Rancho High School. Texaco is the 3-time state champ. They're going for 4. They lost some key senior pieces to their puzzle, but they still returned some experience.
The past is there in the back of their minds, and the expectations are there, which is a great thing to have. And you know, the leadership from those kids that have been in those situations is coming through here in the end, and starting to see them put it together. And you know, it's an interesting dynamic to see if we can pull the rabbit out of the hat.
Yep, Texaco's the top team once again. The Wolverines earned another number 1 seed. Ty Thatcher is 16-5 this year. Their first round opponent is Navajo Pine. Here's the rest of the bracket. Mesilla Valley, you get Capitan. Mora, you're the 5 going up against Magdalena. Rehoboth, 4, will face Desert Academy. On the other side of the bracket, Eunice is the 2, Estancia the 3. The Cardinals will face Penasco, and the Bears will take on Tierra and Cantada. In between those games, we have a 6-11 matchup of McCurdy and Loving, while the 7-10 split is Santa Rosa and Native American Community Academy. On to Class 3A. You know, the Robertson girls earned a number 1 seed in softball. I wonder if the Robertson boys could do the same. I mean, come on. You don't think I'd even mention it if they didn't, right? Robertson is the top baseball team in Class 3A. Leroy Gonzalez and the Cardinals picked up 18 wins this season. They've won their last 5 heading into the playoffs. Release the bracket. Robertson will take on Tularosa. Winner will advance against either Santa Fe Indian School or Navajo Prep. Socorro earned a 5 to take on Dexter. St. Michael's, you're the 4. Zuni will be coming to your field. West Las Vegas is the 3, and they'll face Theroux. Cobre 6, Laguna Acoma 11. New Mexico Military Institute is the 7 and will face Sandia Prep. Now, the Sun Devils won it all back in 2015 and 2016. East Mountain won a blue trophy in 2012. They'll try to do it again in 2019 with Raton as their first-round opponent. East Mountain with a young but very talented squad. The T-Wolves only have 1 senior on the roster. Moving on to 4A and 5A. A couple changes to note there as well. The 5A final at Isotopes Park will now take place at 11 in the morning. The semifinal game times for both 4A and 5A have slightly changed as well. 4A will be played at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. 5A semifinals will be at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Now, I'm sure you want to know who's in the brackets for those classes, right? Well, in Class 4A, we knew at the start of the year there was one team that had a nice crop of talent, and they delivered. I'm talking about the St. Pius Sartans. They are the #1 seed in Class 4A. St. Pius is 19-5, but they haven't lost to a Class 4A team in New Mexico. The Sartans haven't won at all since 2013. This year, they have one of the top pitching performers in the state in Pepperdine commit Hayden Walker.
We start every year with kind of that mentality of everybody wants to beat us, all the time. It doesn't matter if it's district play, non-district play, beginning of season tournaments, when it is. We feel like we have a target on our back a lot.
The target is there this year as the Sartans head into the postseason as one of the teams to beat. One big reason for their success is pitcher Hayden Walker.
My pitching coach, he tells me all the time, he says it's like playing a video game. You call a curveball in, a curveball out, a cutter in, or a slider out. He executes every pitch, most every pitch, where you need it, when you need it, and he's just fun to watch.
Walker is a 6'2 lefty who topped out at 90 miles an hour this year.
I think I'm pretty good at getting ahead with the fastball, getting that fastball inside to the righties that just kind of tails just onto the inner corner of the plate. That just sets up my slider, which just kind of is my go-to pitch to strike somebody out, that or my fastball up. And I just try to keep a short memory with everything and not let anything really get into my head.
Walker only has 1 loss on the year, and his ERA is less than 1.
He has all of the traits needed to be a successful pitcher. He's got a short memory. His work ethic is second to none. He's able to pitch and not just throw.
Walker committed to play at Pepperdine University. The coaching staff in Malibu has big plans for the junior when he arrives.
They kind of expected me to be like a weekend starter as a freshman, but they said that could easily change. I just need to keep working hard, and I will be that guy. So, it definitely kind of helps me to just continue to work hard and to keep getting stronger and just get better every single day so I can be that guy for them.
St. Pius hasn't won a state baseball title since 2013, but with Walker on the hill, the Sartans have a good shot to go all the way.
I think this is one of the best teams I've played on here at Pius so far. I think we could definitely do it if we just keep working hard.
Let's take a look at the bracket. This one had a lot of seeding criteria to go through. There were quite a bit of teams all bunched together, but this is how it shapes up based on that criteria. 2 is Goddard, will go up against Hope. 3 is Artesia. Valencia will travel to take on the Bulldogs. I see you out there, Jaguars. You're watching the show tonight. Hope you like your matchup. 4 is Aztec. The Tigers get Grants. Academy is the 5. The Chargers didn't lose a district game. They will host Miamura. Santa Teresa is a 6. Look out for them. They have a potent 1-2 pitching combination that could carry them deep. Los Alamos and Los Lunas is the 7-10 matchup. Valley and Belen check in at 8 and 9. Now to Class 5A. Did you know that since 1988, only 5 programs have won a state baseball title in New Mexico's largest classification? Those schools are Carlsbad, El Dorado, Farmington, La Cueva, and Rio Rancho. That's it. Only those 5 schools have won it all in the largest class since 1988.
They're just quality baseball schools, all those clubs that you mentioned, and year in, year out, they're going to be some of the best teams. And you look at them too, Coach Murphy and Coach Johns for a long time at El Dorado. They're just very well coached teams, and so they don't make a whole lot of mistakes come playoff time.
I really think there's probably about 7 or 8 teams that could win the state title in the upper class. So I think as long as you're seeded 1 through 8, you have a really good shot to win the state, and everything else from there, you just don't know. But I don't think the 1 seed, we've won state 3 times and never been the 1 seed. So I don't put a lot of emphasis on being the 1 seed. If anything, sometimes it puts more of a target on your back. And so the seeding don't really matter to us as far as that goes.
Now, Farmington won it all last year, but now they are back up in the state's largest classification. Here's a look at the Scorpions.
Farmington's primary color is green, but their baseball team sure does have a lot of blue. The Scorpions have claimed 14 state baseball championships, including last year's Blue Trophy.
It's a little difficult coming off last year's win, coming in thinking we're hot stuff, but we gotta put the pieces together.
It's a really good group still. I'm telling you, it's like I said, there's experience on here. They know how to play the game of baseball, and that's fun.
Danny Seacrest took over the defending state champs this season. He spent the last 2 years as head coach at Kirtland Central after 20-plus years as an assistant with the Scorpions.
I've been here before, so I know some of the kids that that were returning. So I think that that's a blessing for sure. Instead of coming in fresh and didn't know anybody, but I think that I've gelled pretty well with the kids so far.
It's been smooth. I didn't know at first how I was going to be just with all the seniors and how they were going to respond, but I really like the job Coach Seacrest has done and pushes us every day to get better, so it's been fun.
I love what Seacrest is doing with us. We all adapted really well, and the way he coaches us is fun.
Not only is their head coach new, but Farmington is now in Class 5A with the state's other largest schools.
Kind of fun to take on a new challenge this year as kind of the top dog, I guess you could say.
Senior pitchers Danny Carpenter and Braden Zastro are the two aces on the mound. Their roles changed from coming out of the bullpen last season to starters this year. Instead of going 1 or 2 innings as a reliever, they now try to go deep into the game.
You have to change your approach on the mound. You can't go in and give it 100% effort for 2 innings. You gotta work like an even pace throughout.
It's basically a mindset change, just realizing that I can't go 1 to maybe 2 innings a game. Just got to come out, try and go complete game. That's my goal every time I pitch.
Do the Scorpions think they have enough to get it done this year and win back-to-back state titles for the first time since 2008?
We have it in the back of our heads for sure, and I think that there's a possibility that anybody can win it in this state. I think that 5A is good, really good competition, and I think that anybody can win it. But we got a shot here.
I think we have the best talent in the state. We just got to put the pieces together and start swinging the bats and fielding ground balls and doing all the simple stuff. So I think we'll be in there.
Now to the seeds and the matchups. I know you're waiting anxiously. We're creating some drama, and the number 1 seed in 5A baseball goes to... Should we make them wait any longer? No, they want to know, right? Volcano Vista. The Hawks beat Rio Rancho on Friday night to seal the deal on a district title. The Hawks are 20-4 and have a really good lefty pitcher in Darius Garcia. He throws around 85 to 87 miles an hour and has good movement on his fastball. Alamogordo gets the top seed in the opening round. The winner moves on to face either Hobbs or Carlsbad. Rio Rancho is the 5 and will take on El Dorado. Rio Grande is a 4 seed and will face Farmington. Cleveland is the 3, making it 3 teams from that district in the top 5. The Storm meet Mayfield. Defending state champ La Cueva clinched district after splitting with Piedra Vista on Saturday, so the Bears are a 6 going up against Oñate. PV is the 7, and we'll see Sandia in the opening round. Centennial is the 2 seed and will open with another Southern school, Deming. Now, Centennial is 22-3. They've won 16 straight, and they made a good case for number 1, but just missed out to Volcano Vista on that top spot. Those 2 teams split earlier this season. Remember, you can watch the action live on the NFHS Network, get a subscription, and check out all the action. Go to nfhsnetwork.com/NMAA and sign up. It's only $9.95 a month, and if you can't make it to the games, you can watch from your computer. Also, make sure you get the NMAA 24/7 app. It is free. We will be posting highlights all during the tournament. Get it now at the App Store or Google Play. Did I mention it's free? If you already have the app, you knew about the top seeds before the show even started. How's that for a bonus, right? Well, speaking of a bonus in relation to the app, we have a prize pack winner to announce just for downloading the app. Congratulations to Susan Espinoza. You downloaded the NMAA 24/7 app and you get a prize pack. We are giving you 2 state baseball or state softball tournament passes. You also get a $100 Dave & Buster's gift card. You also get a 6-month membership to New Mexico Sports and Wellness, and we're throwing in a genuine Wilson baseball or softball as well. You get all this just for downloading the NMAA 24/7 app. Thanks to Dave & Buster's, Sports and Wellness, and Wilson for being a part of this prize pack. That wraps up this seeding and selection show for baseball and softball. If you missed any part of the show or any of the brackets, the show and brackets will be posted on our website, nmact.org. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we will see you out at the games.